Hey guys, how's it going? I trust that you're doing well, and thanks again for being here and wanting to do some business with me. I called out and I written in an email and I said, guys, I've got a deal that I am looking for a couple of partners to go in, and I think this is why you are watching this. So thank you very much for considering to partner up with me. I do not take it for granted in terms of me and you serving each other. You bring in some cash. I've got some deals that we've got, and I've got an exciting deal. I think this is one of my best deals that I've seen so far in the last maybe 2 to 3 years. Yeah, I'm really excited around it. But without wasting time, I am just going to jump into the presentation right now of the actual deal. And then thereafter, I do have a couple of questions that a lot of people have sort of like positioned. As I've been going through presenting this, I've already presented it to a couple of people, and they said to me, TJ, we are interested, we are jumping on board. You all know that there is some great opportunities at the moment, and maybe within the last maybe 2 to 3 years, around student accommodation. So this deal here that we're going to be talking about, it is a student accommodation. I just want to sensitize you up front. For some people, they may feel that, this is not for them. But before you switch off, I just want to show you some of the opportunities that are there at the moment. And then you can be like, maybe change your mind, or maybe you can start to see things differently. So like I did say, I've put it together, a short presentation. I hope that it is going to be within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so of your time. Right. So as we go along, I hope you can see my slides. Awesome stuff. Amazing. Okay, there you go. So welcome to the tribe. You might be wondering, what's happening? Who is Open Door Deals? Well, Open Door Deals, it's a new initiative that I've just started to putting up together. But not to worry, I am going to explain everything which is related to Open Door. So you are going to see this as I go along. All right. Okay, there we go. So as I go on with the presentation, okay, go. Right, so if you're just meeting us and this is your first time of meeting us, it is my name, Taurai Jack, TJ, as many people call me, and that is my lovely family. They send their regards. And what you're not seeing here is my fairy family. We've got quite a zoo at the house at the moment, but do not worry about all of that. All right. Now, as I go along, right, I am going to be presenting this presentations. And I want us to speak about this particular project. Some of you may know this project actually. Back in 2020, I came up with this project and I invited a couple of my friends and I said, guys, there's an opportunity here. Let's go out and see it. A couple of people came by together. We clubbed up our own monies. And then bingo, we actually bought this property in January 2021, but we moved in December 2020. We bought the property for 2.6 million. We bought the property for 2.6 million, later on renovated it for 500,000. And the full capital that was in the project was 3.1 million. At the time in 2021, we had a rental collection of just below 80,000, which was giving us a yield of plus minus 16%. You might be asking yourself, TJ, you said you've got a new deal. Why are we talking about an old deal? Well, this particular deal that I'm talking about, it's almost a copy and paste with the deal that I'm going to be telling you about where you can jump in. But what I want to do is to show you the possibilities. If you missed an opportunity to invest in this particular one back then, what does it look like now? So I called in a property evaluator roundabout in April of 2021. And I asked them and I said to them, can you do an evaluation on the property? And basically they gave me an evaluation at the time. And they said to me, Mr. Jack, look, your property at the moment is still valued the same. So you just bought it a couple of months ago, the December before. So it's still valued at 2.6. However, with what you are doing on this property, there is a different way of evaluating this property. Basically, the property now is going to be valued at 5.2. But if it is valued at 5.2, there is a condition here. And the condition is pretty simple, is that the property needs to be rezoned. And that's what you see right there at the bottom. It says, subject to rezoning, the property is 5.2. I then said, maybe let me go through the process of rezone. However, COVID hit. But we went through that whole process of rezoning, and by December 2022, we were able to rezone the property, which basically meant that the property then turned from 2.6 million by changing the land use to 5.2 million. And we did what is called now a forced appreciation. And we literally banked 2.1 million. Is this a good deal? I look at it and I'm thinking, it is a good deal. But can anyone else do such kind of deals? Not everybody. And that is why I have invited you guys today to say, hey, if you are keen, we have started off this new initiative that is called Open Door, where people like you can come in, we can club in 200K plus, and we can go into deals like these ones. So what is Open Door deals? Well, Open Door deals, it's all about new possibilities. You might be sitting where you are and you're trying to figure out, what can I do? Well, you can come to Open Doors. And at Open Doors, we are looking for those opportunities. And when we bring that to you, it's a new possibility. And within the new possibilities, we might be thinking that we're just buying this property today and it's worth X. But when we do other magic that we put in together, there's other possibilities that come by. And it's all about taking bold actions. And what do I mean by taking bold actions? I've been in this state, in the space of real estate. COVID came in, it hammered quite a lot of other smaller businesses. But I'm still standing today. And it's because we were taking in bold actions and navigating or dancing with whatever challenges that were coming through. So it's not about giving in. It's not about throwing in the towels when things get heated, but it's about navigating the terrain. It's about creating a community, like-minded people that are wanting to build real assets, that are paying themselves, and so that they can create some form of a legacy. But I do not like talking about legacy when you cannot put food on the table today. Above that, it is about stewardship. What do I mean by stewardship? We're going into student accommodation. We have the ability now of being good stewards, looking after our asset, and the asset now looks after the students, and the students now are paying us, whichever way, by private or by bursaries, and with that, we are banking in some money. So being of good steward is one of the pillars that we have that obviously will propel us into the future. So my friends, welcome to Open Door Deals. You will hear more, you will see more. The community of the TJ tribe, for those that are wanting to invest, they will come and sit under Open Door Deals. When you're investing in real estate, do not think that there are no risks, especially if you're going to be buying properties cash. It doesn't mean like that. I want to speak to you about 4 potential risks that we are faced with at any given time when we are doing real estate investments. And by the way, there is nothing that you're going to do in life that does not come with a risk. We just need to make sure that we are assessing this risk and we understand the risk in totality. And above that, we can be able to put the mitigation way before the risk itself. So location. This property here that we're talking about, it's literally 500 meters away from the gate of a big university. So normally you will have a risk, a location risk, because maybe you're a little bit far away from wherever the economy is. In this case, we have chosen the property carefully, and then that removes the location risk. Cash flow. Cash flow is another big risk in property investments, which basically means that we may run out of cash and then things that's just going down and wrong, and we're not able to be self-sufficient. In this case, what we are basically doing is that everyone is investing cash. We may leverage. I'm saying that with a big drag. We may. The whole goal is actually for us to buy cash. So if we are to be buying cash, we need to manage our cash flows correctly. And for that reason, if you're coming through to Walkthough, whenever we are doing any form of investments in our first year, we do not distribute any funds at all. And only in the second year, we'll start distributing, meaning that we have created a buffer for ourselves in the first year, making sure that our asset is working for us. Another risk that we always have in real estate is tenants. In this case, we will have one tenant, which is the university, but the university itself is not the actual tenant, because many kids are coming through from bursaries and things like that. So they are coming through from another bursary committee. It's a big risk. They may change their mind. We don't know. But whilst we are at it at the moment, we will dance with them and find out the best solution. At the moment, what we've been seeing with the tenants, or should I say the bursary tenants, is that they are actually improving their systems, which means that we don't foresee this closing down anytime soon. Leverage. What do we mean by leverage? We may actually want to go in and take some debt on the property. This is going to be one of our last resort if we have to be doing that, or if we're going to do that. But for the meantime, we are not going to be doing that. We're going to try to fundraise as much cash as we can as we go along. I'm going to introduce you to this deal, my friend. In this particular deal, it is in a province that is called Freestate. And within this, in Freestate, it's a deal that I saw at one point, and I actually decided to sell it at one point, but we went to visit the place and we realized the amount of gold in the property. Many are hidden gems that I saw in there, and I decided, nah, I'm going to buy it, and me and my partners, we will jump into this deal. So the first one is that we're wanting to fundraise for 4 million rand. Within the next couple of months, we will fundraise for 4 million rand. And when I'm saying couple of months, I just basically means we have this month and next month. And we are buying the property for 2.5 million. We've got a closing cost of around about 1 million. And we'll be able to collect 140,000 on a monthly basis. If you're a quick mathematical person already, you can see that this deal is a good deal. Well, where are we with the deal? As you can see, it's a double story. You've got space at the bottom, space on the top. So it's got many living spaces. It's under contract at the moment, and that's why I've come to you. We are busy fundraising now. So I'm just wanted to show you some pictures that we took on the property itself to show you. They were already running a student accommodation of sorts, but you can see that it wasn't being done correctly. If you had to look at the far right-hand picture where there's 3 beds there, you can see that there's ample space if someone else is clever, and you can do a little bit of partitioning and so on. And you can see the other one, the other picture on the left-hand side where there's the brown flow. You can see they kind of like tried to do something. I don't know what they were trying to do there. But nonetheless, because they've now sold this property, it's an opportunity for us to go and fix this. There's a humongous kitchen here at the bottom that you can see. So many are hidden gems in terms of extra living space. We are going to love renovating this place so that we can have many students to be in this place. Right, at the moment, I did say that we're wanting to raise 4 million. So at the moment where we are is that we have actually raised already 700,000. I know I'm coming through to you now, and I apologize, you're not the first one that I came through to, but I wanted to test the theory of everything else that we had. And when I visited some of my mates, they said, TJ, I am in. Here's my money. So 700,000 already is on the table for this deal. We're wanting to get to 4 million rand. So get ready with your cash. Now, there is a projected yield of 20% on this project, okay? And there's a projected forced appreciation of 3 million rand. So we're buying in for 4 million, all inclusive, right? However, the property valuation is going to be, once we finish off everything else, remember what we saw on the first deal that we did last year, in the previous years, right? I've done the same thing. I've applied the same principles on this deal. The valuation of this property is sitting on just above 7 million. So we're going to have a forced appreciation of 3 million. So, question that I want to ask you, are you in with your minimum 200,000? Hey, you can throw in 1 million at this. You can throw in 2 million. Whatever amount of money that you're wanting to make available, we will take it and put it to work. 20% yield with over and above 3 million forced appreciation. By the way, we haven't factored in on the 20% there. That's on cash only. So if you have to add that 3 million in, that's a little bit some. Now, we're going to run this project in 2 phases. The phase 1 is we are going to buy the property between now and August. So we're allowing all the legal process to go through. And around about in October, November, that's when we are aiming to renovate the property. December, we'll take a little bit of a break. But if the property hasn't been finished renovating, the guys will continue. Aiming that in January to February, we'll do student placements. And our first income into the business from the universities will come in April 2024. Now, because we are wanting to run a tight ship business, right? A business that can surpass you and me and that can stand any weather, we are going to reserve some cash. So the first income that we're going to be getting in 2024, we will not distribute that money. We will keep that money and we're only distributing in 2025 in the first quarter. Now, my friends, over and above renovating, once we buy the property, we're going to start doing what is called rezoning. That's what allows us to change the value from what we are buying it from at the moment to the new valuation. I hope that makes sense. If all of this is not making sense and you got some money on the table and you're saying, TJ, I want to understand a little bit more, I'll give you an opportunity where you can be able to reach out to us and we can have a discussion. Phase 2 of this project is we will finish phase 1, right? So by the end of 2024, we'll finish phase 1 and then we'll jump on into phase 2. Our phase 2 will start in mid-2024. Why? Because we need to start doing the planning. And thereafter, we'll also have a good indication of thereafter we'll also have a good indication of what the rezoning is looking like. Have they given us a go in terms of building, or have they given us a go in terms of the rezoning itself? We will also start fundraising. We want to fundraise, or should I say our projected fundraising income will be plus minus 4 million. And this will give us a small block of flats of around about 50 beds. And then building we will start in 2025, or as and when the rezoning is done and the plans for this new build. At the end of this, the project will close off with 100 beds, and the value of the asset that we will now control will be sitting at 14 million rand. So that's why I said, guys, this is something that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm really excited about this project and I would like you to get involved in it and you can contribute. So how do you partner? Pretty simple. You need to have a minimum of your 200,000 and it has to be cash. You need to understand that you are investing in a long-term rental. You are also buying shares into a company that we are going to be running here. So it's a partnership. And as partners, you distribute shares and things like that. That's what we're doing. It's a partnership. So you're coming in to partner with me. That's exactly what's happening here. And you want to be an armchair investor, which basically means that I am going to run the ship and I will report to you from time to time. We'll put in the parameters of how we're going to be doing that, scheduled upfront, and that should be the governance that we have. So if you're wanting to partner up with me, you can put in, there is a form that's going to come out to you via email. And immediately when this webinar finishes off, you will receive another email. And within that email, there will be a form. That form will look exactly like this. And it will basically stipulate to you, it will request your name, your last name, best email, best phone. And within that form, right on top, it's going to ask you for the deal name. And within the deal name or the reference, just say partner there. Now, I will introduce you to Elise. She'll be running through with all the legalities, and you'll meet some of these other guys that we are going to partner up with. If in the event that we have to go the route of funding, well, so we will need to make sure that whoever who is in the deal at the time, they understand the funding and the model and the risk associated with it at the time. But in the meantime, we are wanting to fundraise cash alone so that we can be able to do this deal. Right, my friends, I think that there are some people that have asked me a couple of questions, and those questions I want to answer them because some of you might already have the questions at the moment. So the first question that someone asked me was that, TJ, what is the exit mechanism? So let's assume that I do not want to be involved in the fund anymore. What happens? And I said to them, no problem. What we will do is that we'll put in a criteria. Remember, you're a partner, so you will have titles in your shares in there, and the company itself will own the property. So if you're now wanting to exit, we'll give the opportunity of other shareholders to buy your share. So it will be negotiations between the other shareholders or whoever who is buying your share. That's the first option. The second option is that the business and yourself will go out there. We can look for someone else to buy your share if they would want to do that. Or if the business has capability of buying the share, the business can do the same. Right. So that's how you can be able to exit. I hope that makes sense. We potentially do not want people to exit very early because it just creates instability within the business. But what we are trying to do here is to say long-term investment, seeing it as a property that you're buying today and you're going to have it for the next 5 to 10 years. That's the kind of people that we are looking for in this year. Second question is, who will manage the property and the students? I will manage the business. I'll manage the property itself, myself. However, the student business, my partners, or should I say my friends at my student house, they will manage that. They have the expertise. They are growing tremendously very well across the country, and they will manage that for us. So I'll run the company on behalf of all of my partners, and the students will be managed with the business, my student house. What if I have less than 200,000? Can I still join? The answer is not really, but yes. So let us know how much you want to invest. We are really wanting to, Open Door is about doing deals that are profitable to everybody. And I know that maybe some of you might have a 50,000, 100,000, and you still want to get into deals like these ones. I want you to have a significant amount of money that you can jump in to invest, and you can also see a significant profit that's coming through to you. So I'm not saying that a no, if you don't have 200,000, speak to us, let me know how much it is, and then we'll see how best we can accommodate you. However, our minimum we're chasing for is 200,000 so that we can have lesser people within a company, and it's better managed with a lesser people. Yeah. Okay, good. Number 4, how will I be kept updated? All right. In the partnership, I will be running the business, and we've put in mechanisms in terms of updating partnerships, and there will be regular meetings that will be structured way ahead of times. And there will be also what we call some show and tell, where we do visit the property Actually, speaking of that, part of the timeline that that I showed you, before the end of the year or right at the beginning of the year, we will do what is called a show and tell, where we'll visit our property and see the work that is in progress, but we'll all coordinate it nicely so that we are all in the place. Is my money safe? Woo, yeah. I think this is such a heated question, but someone had to ask this question, and I said to myself, yes, your money is safe. Your money is going through to Elise, who is an attorney. She will manage that money for you like any other attorney. And then from there, the money will come through into the company. I'm sure you've seen plenty of things that I have done, and I will manage it in the same light like I've done the other stuff. And over and above that, you will own that business directly. So we'll be running this business alongside of me. And the asset itself, which is the property, is always available. So you will not be losing your money, because we do have a physical asset that is available. So let us be fruitful, my friends, and let's multiply. And my thinking here is that we can be fruitful amongst ourselves right now and put all of these resources together, your 200, my 200, and the next person, and let's create the business that we are wanting to create in the open door scenario. And who knows, we might be housing the next president of our country. Who knows? The next leader of our country could be passing through our own open door student. So it's not just about creating passive income, but it's a little bit bigger than that in my head. So as I close down with all of this, I just wanted to say to you, thank you very much for attending. I really appreciate it. If you're wanting, if you've got some money with you, or you've got someone else that you think you want to club with, I welcome you to the open doors. That's why it's open doors. Your next step now is, number one, wait for the email that's going to come through to your mailbox. So there's another email that will come through. Within that email, it's going to give you two things. Number one, it's going to give you access to another folder where you can check out a little. Some of you like to play around with numbers. So I'm going to give you some numbers and you're going to play around with it. Okay, that's option number one. And then option number two, it will have a button, or should I say another link, where you can literally click in, and then once you click in, it will show you, it's a form where you can fill it in, and it will come through to us, and myself or one of my other team members in the office will reach out to you. If you're totally new to us, I'll probably speak to you so that I can understand how much money you've got, where we are plugging it, and make sure that we are on the same page. So it's great having you around. Let us do the investment. You have seen the milestones of the project. Let's get the deal. Good. Thank you very much. We'll see you later.